not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Activism in the 21st century takes many forms. For Minnesota Chippewa artist Rory Wakeup, it's Funktivism. He uses humor, satire, and regalia to challenge social and environmental injustice. Smart Wars is Wakeup's latest solo exhibition. It's a bold mix of Indigenous heritage with modern commentary. Through his multimedia art, Wakeup challenges perceptions and sparks conversations about Native resilience, climate action, and truth-telling. See Smart Wars at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis, February 20th through April 5th. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
We served our country like those before us.
You know, it was a dangerous area. All of Vietnam was dangerous.
The carnage of war left an indelible mark on me.
We came back and built lives. As time went on, we faced new challenges and found support to handle them.
I went to the VA, talked to my doctor.
I started doing groups. I started doing one-on-one counseling.
At MakeTheConnection.net, you can hear our stories and find tools and services available to you.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go. So making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle winter. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service schedule to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 15 below, wind chills of 30 below. Then Wednesday sunny with a high of 6 above, but wind chills of 32 below. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut. Hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings that wounded me.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Jessica. This portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
Hey, it's Leonard Peltier Day, and we are so excited. So much happening earlier today. He was let out of prison in Florida, and it was funny. I'm friends with Stevie's Van Zandt, who used to be on the Sopranos, but before that he was in Bruce Springsteen for many years.
Yeah.
He was there.
I saw that post.
And he also did a music video yesterday on Leonard Peltier, which is pretty awesome. I took a look at just dropped. So Stevie must be been in the battle for a long time.
Yeah, I did not know that. I didn't know, it's great to see so many people being able to reunite with Leonard after all these years. And what a day. I mean, it reminds me of that quote from Smoke Signals, Daga, one of our favorite movies, and Gary Farmer during the basketball scene. And he was talking about, how they won, the Indians won for just that day. And it kind of almost feels like that today.
Well, that's really cool that you mentioned that because there's a clip that was put out there by Indian Collective, and it's kind of noisy. There isn't a directional mic, but what he had to say, if we could play that, is very, very powerful. Could we try and play that?
Yeah, here it is.
We're not going to give up. We're going to win. We've been winning. We're going to continue to win. We're gonna stick together. We're going to unite. As it is right now, we've been united all through indigenous countries, and we're gonna fight back. We're gonna continue until we are a free nation. I gave 50 years for that. You know, and I'm going to give the rest of my life. So they haven't broken. They have not broke me. I am not broken.
Not broken.
Yeah. Wow. Very powerful. I don't know if I could say that if I was under those same circumstances, but you know, a lot happening. I know a lot of our friends are down there too, like Rachel. She's down there, and I'm sure her husband Vinny and their baby are down, or I should say
Yeah.
up there, North Dakota, right?
Yeah, shout out, thank you, Indigenous Protector Movement from Minneapolis for being there. Shout out Indian Collective. I want to shout out Angel White Eyes, who was the photographer out there, boots on the ground today with Indian Collective. If you're able to head over to our live stream on social media, you can check out some of those pictures. But yeah, Leonard got off the plane around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time in North Dakota today. What a great day. What a great day to be Indigenous. It was blue skies all across Turtle Island, at least, you know, in Florida from what I've saw, and definitely here in Minnesota.
Speaking of which, we're streaming live on Blue Sky right now, and I want to give that social media a big shout out. And I know a lot of people have been watching us on there, and just look up Native Roots Radio, and it'll be under Robert Pilot, and give us a shout out and a share and a like. And we know it's really important to get that biorhythm going.
Hey, yeah, get over on Blue Sky too. Make that transition from the good old Twitter to Blue Sky. I still have to call it Twitter, so that says, you know, enough.
Yeah,
What I think about it.
I guess there's a generation after you now. Now you're not the youngest Gen Zs. There's a new one I just saw.
Yeah, those next generations, you know, we just keep coming, as they say, stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and I want to give a big shout out to Rachel. We're gonna have her on as soon as possible. But we also have our guest today, Ruth Anna Buffalo, who really did a lot of work too in the last quite a few years, and had met Leonard many times in prison and visited him in the last few years, and it's been very important in supporting this. Ended up being a commuting, but a release out of prison at the very least, for Leonard to be able to live his last few years. And I'll tell you, Haley, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that when I was looking at the pictures, and when he was talking, and he said it didn't break him, and he's not broken. And really, it is so nice to see him out in nature again with that sun beating on his face, and he just had his fist up in strength, and he really looked good. It really looked like a new day for Leonard, and I would say, you know, us as a community as a whole.
I'm just assuming Indian Collective had a lot to do with the transportation, and I saw those guys on the plane too. And when Leonard got off the plane, he had an Indian Collective jacket on, and I want to get one of those. But you know, giving a big shout out to Indian Collective. They've been doing some great work these past few years, and like you said, they're on top of it with the photography. Also, a friend of mine, John Anderson's there too, who was Clyde Belcourt's like personal photographer for many years, and he was there too, and he is there taking pictures as he does, and
Awesome.
we're just really excited. This is a really excited day, and I'm sure we're gonna have Dr. Stately on later too, and he's gonna have a lot to say about it, I'm sure. It's Leonard Peltier Day here.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I know tomorrow, February 19th, there will be a Welcome Home Leonard Peltier kind of community gathering, which will be happening at noon on Wednesday. This will be at the Sky Dancer Casino Event Center in Belcourt, North Dakota. So tomorrow, starting at noon, there's going to be a community feed and honoring our elders as Leonard returns home to his homelands.
Wow, that's tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow, yep.
So they must
And-
be having some kind of get together with just family then now and close relatives.
Yeah, that looks like a good time. Also, looks like Indian Collective is playing a big part in that. So Pinagigi again. They also said the event will be live streamed on Indian Collective's Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So we will be sure to share those on our pages as well tomorrow once they go live.
Yeah, I saw you were really on top of sharing things too via Native Roots Radio, and of course we're on. A lot of you right now are watching us from Facebook Live and YouTube and Blue Sky, so you can watch us live there. And if you would have been just watching just a minute ago, I had a sneezing attack, and Haley took control of the show as she often does, and I appreciate you and that. Hey, I know we got only a couple minutes left in this segment, and we're going to probably talk a lot more about Leonard Peltier Day and the release of Leonard. I had a lot of stuff going on this weekend here in the Twin Cities. I went and saw a book reading from a writer out of Madison, Wisconsin, and then you were at a powwow, and so there's always things to do here in the Twin Cities and all around Turtle Island on the weekends. If you take a look at what's happening on your calendar, and we try to keep people abreast on what's happening in the Twin Cities and our tribes in our area.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on in our Native communities here in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities. I was actually able to head down to Prairie Island or Tinta Winta's powwow this past weekend for the 1 p.m. grand entry on Saturday. And that was my first time being there. And I know that my great grandma, your grandma, Robert, and then my grandma, your aunt, would always go to Prairie Island. So just, putting out tobacco and showed up in a good way and had a great time. So thank you, Prairie Island.
Right on. And that's what it's about. And we're really, really excited about the rest of the show. We're going to have Ruth Anna Buffalo on next. And it's just a day of celebration. And we're all very happy. And this is Native Roots Radio. I am awake. We'll be right back. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first ticket for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. See you at the movies. walkerart.org/cinema to learn more.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Progressive change doesn't just happen. It takes dedication and a lot of hard work. 25 years ago, the Data Bank pioneered a new generation of software tools for progressive organizations here in Minnesota. Since then, thousands of organizations have used the Data Bank to create progressive change. Today, the Data Bank continues to help progressive organizations like AM 950. To have the Data Bank help your organization build capacity and create more change, text CHANGE to 612-540-0500 or go to thedatabank.com. The Data Bank, a quarter century of dedication and hard work for progressive organizations.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we are so happy and proud to have our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo on, who is president and CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. And just always great to see you and check in. But what a day today. I'm just seeing pictures and videos of Florida and now North Dakota. I don't know. I'm really excited, Ruth.
Yes, my base again. It's a good day.
Yeah, definitely. And we were saying earlier before you came on, and just that how you were presenting to people that clemency should happen and things should happen for our uncle Leonard. And I just have to give you a big shout out because I know you're very busy and have been very busy, but to spend time with him and talk to him and support him and his family have been really important. And he really looks really good.
Yeah, it's a good day. I also want to acknowledge my big brother through our clan. He's a late big brother, or our late Malcolm Wolf. Today is Malcolm Wolf Day back home at the Mandan Hidads Underground Nation. So we're from the same clan, the Awache clan, Dripping Earth or Dripping Dirt. And he was my older big brother through our clan. And so today is Malcolm Wolf Day back at MHA. But yes, for sure, definitely happy for Leonard, his family, and just wish him well in the future moving forward, and hope that he gets many more years on this earth. And I think it's a really good step forward for healing. And I just want to acknowledge, those that are hurting, if this is a tough day for them as well. We want to make sure that we are being mindful of all the families, throughout Indian country and non-Indian country, and how do we come together to find that healing, because we definitely are in need of some healing in our country. These are our original lands, and so it's our responsibility as the originals of these lands to encourage and move that forward. That healing is so important. So Mazigadad, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of healing too, your Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center helps with that. And we're always so proud and happy to have updates on what's going on there this week. And also just a brief history. We've been around 40 years, and I know we have a lot of people that come on the show and listen to the show for the first time. Maybe we can just give a little background of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities.
Yes, thank you, Mazigadad. Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center just celebrated its 40th years of existence this past September 16th. And currently we are opening our doors, the community room, the gym, for a warming space, emergency warming space that was sort of birthed out of the encampments being displaced with explosions and fires that were taking place. And so we took action and reached out to the encampments and were able to assist since January 6th. And so I believe this is our 6th week of providing support and services for our unsheltered relatives. The goal is to help get our relatives into self-sufficiency and onto the road or the path of recovery. So just really want to commend the grassroots on the ground, the work that's been ongoing. And our job is just to assist and help move that work forward by providing a space, whether it, so it's weather permitting, but we're also moving to do once a week resource connects here in MIWRC in the community room, inviting all the providers, all the different service providers, from mental health to housing, streets to housing, all the different groups out there to come to the community room Tuesdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., we'll have meals provided, and it's just a good chance for people to get connected to resources. So
That is.
we'll be doing that once a week, and then we'll also be doing the emergency warming centers contingent upon the weather, though, or tracking the weather. And so we did extend. We did extend until tomorrow. We opened on, gosh, I've been working 7 days a week, 24/7. So yeah, we opened, I believe, on Sunday, this past Sunday at 5, and we were going to close today at 3, but we're extending it another 24 hours and closing tomorrow at noon. So yeah.
Yeah, that's heavy duty. And I'm curious too, does Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center have a Real 25 expert there for people that may be trying to seek some help?
We do. We have 2 experts within the drop-in center, support worker staff, and we're also in the process of expanding the drop-in center to providing meals on a regular basis. But yes, we are definitely strengthening our partnerships with existing outreach workers and, all of the above. I've been asked the question a lot of, are we going to, if and when MIWRC will bring back treatment services for our women. So it's definitely a huge need, and we are at capacity at 35 people, but we still encourage people to stop by. That 35 capacity is for overnight, but we are still keeping our doors open for people who want to come in, get warm, get a meal, get connected to resources. We are also, in need of volunteers too. If there's different agencies and organizations that want to come help us out, we're still providing free training in partnership with AICDC for the month of February. So we have one more training for the month of February. It'll be this Saturday, February 22nd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Contact myself to get registered and signed up. And so we're just, trying to help the relatives as best we can. And we're learning every week that we've been open for the Emergency Warming Center. Hearing a lot of good feedback from the community, saying this is one of the best warming centers around. We are low barrier. We ask that individuals do not use within the building or on the property. But, you come here, you get welcomed by community members, and, it's just for, by, and with the community of American Indian women and their families. So, Mads Igads, thank you.
Yeah, that's it's just amazing. One of the things I don't think we really talk about, what we are national, is that what is the address of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center? Where is that located?
We're located right in the middle of East Phillips neighborhood and now Ventura Village. So the address is 2300 15th Avenue South. We're right off of Bloomington and not far from Franklin and a few blocks from Lake Street. So we're right in that, what they call it, the native corridor.
Corridor?
So
yeah.
Minneapolis
Native Corridor, right, Haley? I always get things mixed up. That's why it's great to have Haley here.
The American Indian, I think, Cultural Corridor, something like that.
Yeah, we're kitty corner from All Nations Church, and the new development there across from All Nations Church is Mille Lacs. They're putting up some apartment units, I believe, and so yeah, we're not far from All Nations coffee or the powwow grounds, and then we're not far from Aldi either. We're just a couple blocks from the Indian Center.
And then that famous restaurant everybody likes to go to, Maria's.
Yes, I haven't been there in a while, so I'll have to go back.
They have some pancakes that people, I can't remember what they're made out of, but people always say get those pancakes. And whenever you go to Maria's, not to take away from the Indian Center or the powwow grounds, you always see somebody you know.
Right. Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. It's good, but yeah, like I have an empty iced coffee back there from powwow grounds. So. Fresh, about a couple hours old. So I usually have my background blurred, so apologies. And I got a coffee. Yeah, it's been long days for sure.
Yeah, people don't realize how hard you and your organization are working, especially with all the things that are happening in the community and happening. So, hey, we have we want to take a break here, and we have Rachel, who's in North Dakota, and we want to get her on. Is there any last things how people can support Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center?
Yes, for sure. Go to our website, miwrc.org. There's a big donate tab there. But also, you mentioned that, how hard we work as an organization. But again, it's in partnership and unison with the community. We're just here to help move the good community-led work forward, where we can. So definitely community-led efforts definitely are the way to go. And just want to give the community members who have been doing this work all the props. So, thank you.
Right on. Thank you. Great to see you, Ruth.
Thanks.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, we have Rachel Thunder, and she's in her car, and she's going to give us a big update, hopefully, on our Uncle Leonard and his landing in North Dakota. We'll be right back after this short break.
Are you experiencing troubles with thinking, comprehending, or speaking, have post-COVID brain fog, ADHD, concussion, tremors from Parkinson's, mental health issues, or simply striving to maximize your brain's potential? At Hypercharge Wellness Centers, we deliver transformative results for the brain. Hypercharge Wellness's brain fitness protocol utilizes cutting-edge modalities, including PEMF, red light therapy beds, and transcranial laser, which all work together to improve focus and cognitive functions. These treatments aim to improve the brain's blood flow and electrical patterns, which reduces anxiety and enhances relaxation, providing a comprehensive approach to brain health optimization. All are invited to experience this life-changing journey towards achieving the pinnacle of cognitive and emotional well-being. Call or go online to schedule your free Hypercharge Wellness introductory session, valued at $200 today. This is your opportunity to feel the difference for yourself. No matter where you are in the Twin Cities, there is a convenient location near you. Visit hyperchargeclinic.com now. That's hyperchargeclinic.com. Hypercharge is hope.
I love the Toyota Sienna Hybrid from Rudy Luther Toyota. Safe, roomy, comfortable, and insanely fuel efficient. One thing I haven't mentioned is how good the Sienna is at winter driving. We just had a snowstorm, and my Sienna handled the ice and snow no problem. From getting through the plow pile at the end of the driveway to safely navigating the snow-covered highways, the Sienna is designed to give you a comfortable, safe drive. When winter weather hits, I give myself extra time, but with Sienna's handling and heated seats, extra time is great. Test drive a Sienna today at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Spring and summer is the right time to install your fireplace. Find your perfect fireplace and have it installed and ready before the cold weather hits again. If you already have a wood fireplace, consider a fireplace insert or check out the entire selection at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces on East Franklin and Riverside in Minneapolis. It will transform your inefficient fireplace into a reliable, environmentally smart heating system.
This is Peter Solak, owner of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Have you ever watched your dog or cat curl up in front of a fire? It's primordial, the way it touches both the animal and the human. We know that fire reaches deep into the heart and soul. Let us show you how. We have over 35 working units on display here in Minneapolis. We are located at the east end of Riverside Avenue at 2901 East Franklin. From I-94, take the Riverside Avenue exit. Find us also online at woodlandstoves.com. Let us help you make a fireplace part of your life.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 15 below, wind chills of 30 below. Then Wednesday sunny with a high of 6 above, but wind chills of 32 below. Catch Milo Imagines the World at Children's Theater Company now through March 9th. On a crowded subway, Milo passes the time imagining the lives of the other passengers. See his illustrations brought to spirited life in this world premiere musical. Get your tickets now at childrenstheater.org.
Hi, this is Governor Walz. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yeah, I want to howl after that. I don't know, Haley. I just, or is that's a different spot, right? Hey, we have our friend Rachel Dion Thunder, who's on the ground, boots on the ground right now as normal. And thank you so much. I know things are happening down there. I really appreciate you jumping on and giving our listeners an update. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. I don't have long, so I'll just give a really quick update. Leonard Peltier just arrived to Turtle Mountain. He just crossed over the res line and is now on sovereign land, and it is being escorted to his house, his residence that's prepared for him. So just a little bit of context for those of you who don't know who Leonard Peltier is. He was the longest held Indigenous political prisoner held by the United States government for the past 5 decades, for the past nearly 50 years. And today was his release date from a commutation of his sentence that was granted by President Joe Biden on his last day in office, his last 20 minutes in office. And so today was the official release date. He was released from USP Coleman in Florida and was escorted to an airport and flown here to North Dakota and received an escort from, community, from Indian Collective, from AIM out of South Dakota to the res line. And he was greeted by many, many cars and many people. And it was such a good feeling just to see him finally come home. And so we're just following right now. We're following the line of cars here on Turtle Mountain.
Well, I know you and your husband have been really big. Also, I want to say that Rachel Dion Thunder is a co-founder of Indigenous Protector Movement. And we really appreciate all the visibility and the work that you and your husband and the people that are involved with Indigenous Protector Movement are doing in the Twin Cities and Minneapolis. I just got to put that in there real quick. And we really appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate what you had to say on Friday too.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Robert. It's been a busy few weeks, and then we have Wounded Knee coming up. And of course, honoring the late Frank Pero. With Leonard coming home, and him being in prison for 50 years, there were so many people that worked for his freedom, that gave so much of their time and of their lives, that are not here for us, that prayed for him to be free. I think of Leonard Crow Dog. I think of Frank Pero, Clyde Belcourt. I think of all of those that have journeyed on, that fought so hard for him to be free. And I know that they would be really happy if they were here with us. And I know that they're celebrating from where they're at. Maybe it took them being there on that side to help him be free.
Yeah, and I know, again, too, all the work, the walk that you did and the updates that you gave us on Native Roots Radio, I'll never forget because, and then I ran into you guys in Washington. I was there for ICWA, and you were just coming to Washington. It was just amazing timing and great to see you and all the people that are doing this work and boots on the ground and continue to. And we're on the same flights to Wounded Knee, so I'm excited to hang out with you and the other Indigenous Protector Movement people.
I'm gonna pass the baby over to you on the plane. But
Well, hey, I got good experience now.
you,
Robert.
I do want to say that, you know, like, because you mentioned the walk that we did in 2022, and just, you know, advocating and bringing awareness and politicizing the, you know, Leonard Peltier story and bringing him back into some frontline, you know, media and conversations. And then after the walk, I really want to commend Indian Collective because they've done the end of the work here, you know, like the lobbying, the conversations that it took with the administration, the continuing on the fight, the campaign. You know, they organized the caravan to DC, and really want to commend them for that job that they've done and just brought him home.
Yeah, and earlier too, we saw photos from our friend John, and he Leonard had an Indian Collective jacket on, and I want to get one of those.
yeah, I saw.
Well, I know you are driving, and we want you to be safe, but we really appreciate you bringing this up. Is there any way that we can support Leonard's homecoming that's legitimized that you could send us to? And also your organization, could you give us any kind of shout out how we can do that?
Yeah, so our organization, we have Facebook and Instagram. It's Indigenous Protector Movement. And then as far as like donations for Leonard, I would say to just wait until Indian Collective posts anything. I know that there is an official family fundraiser too. And so those are the only two that I know of don't get caught up by scammers.
Right. And that's why I want to bring that up because, you know, there is people out there that would like to benefit from this that shouldn't. And it's the family. And again, Indian Collective and your organization too.
Yep. And I mean, and there's a lot of work that is still left to be done. And I do want to say, and I'll say this like closing remarks because I'll say this, you know, when we started the walk, it seemed like spirits were low for Leonard. It seemed like a lot of people had just kind of maybe given up. And I just want to say that this is an example of what happens when we don't give up and when we unite as Native people, as sovereign people, and we come together in a good way, in a traditional way, through ceremony and through prayer, and we stand together. There's nothing that we can't do. And today is a testament to that because Leonard Peltier just came home.
Right on. Oh, great segue. Rachel Dion Thunder, our friend, the Indigenous Protectors, and also our friend just in community and spirit. Big Peony Geek, thank you for dropping in and giving us this great update.
We just pulled up at the casino, so I'm gonna hop off of here. Thanks, Robert.
Go double your money.
I don't know about all that, but
No, I'm kidding. Hey, thanks, Rachel. Wow, Haley, should we see Dr. Stately's in the bullpen? Maybe we can grab him and get his thoughts. Hey,
Yeah.
Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic and our friend. Great to see you. What a day. With all these things going on in the community, you know, it just shows how resistance and things like that can pay off in the long run. Welcome.
Bonjour. Yeah, that is great news. I got to catch the tail end of that conversation. And yeah, her and Ben are doing some really amazing work. I'm really proud of them. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I think that what she said it towards the end of her conversation there about, like, you know, people maybe are feeling, you know, exhausted. Maybe they were giving up because this has been a 50+ year fight, you know, good old 45, at least 48 year plus. I feel like I've been since I was a teenager, in my late teens, early 20s, I've been listening to this conversation we've been having as a community, a national community, to try and get Leonard freed. And
Yeah, I remember the 90s was such a big push, and we thought Clinton was
yeah,
good. We had all these documentaries, Robert.
yeah, I know. I thought it would be. I thought for sure Obama would do it because I thought maybe, just maybe, brother from another mother would understand those things. But it's like, I just I'm happy that it happened. I'm really, really happy for him and his family that they get to be together. He's not well. He has poor health, and I can't imagine a worse way to end your life and to be alone in prison and be away from your family. That would be a horrible way to go. So I'm really grateful that President Biden found the compassion and the courage. I think other people weren't courageous enough to do it. I think they probably might have wanted to do it, but they weren't courageous enough to do it. They didn't want to, maybe expense their political cachet.
Well, Dr. Stately, I think personally that we've had people in government talking to the presidents, whether it's
Yeah.
Somebody working for the administration that's Native American that was really big on this, and I'm sure was able to talk to this president. And I don't know if we've had that in the past.
Probably not. I mean, I think, it was remarkable that, we have, this last president, the President Biden, one of the first presidents, I think, that has, done such a remarkable job of putting indigenous people in places of leadership. Deb Haaland making that appointment was a really big deal. Like, I mean, that was historic. We never have had a Native woman or a Native person leading the Department of the Interior. It's just not. So yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. I think also like the timing, it's, it's interesting to me. Like, I've heard a couple different conversations from different places, Texas, like, no Native person has said this to me, but like other people, like I know in my life, non-Indigenous people, like one person who's a, police officer, and, or has been a police officer, said in my presence, like, well, he killed FBI agents. And I said, well, actually, the evidence on that was really thin. I said, but like, nobody's like, what look at what the new president just did. He people were killed in in that attack on the Capitol, and they were hurt and did much worse. And like, and they all got pardoned, but nobody's like up. I don't see a lot of people on that side of their being upset about it. So.
We're here with Dr. Stately. We're going to take a quick break and talk more about this and what else is going on in the community and the clinic. This is Native Roots Radio, and we are grateful and awake. Oh,
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Native history in Minnesota is diverse and rich. Indigenous people have dwelled here for thousands of years and continue to live here today. Our home, Native Minnesota, at the Minnesota History Center, shares the history and contemporary stories of the region's Native peoples. Now on display, the mask designed by Milwaukee, Dakota artist Cole Red Horse Taylor and worn by Minnesota Wild goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury. Visit the Minnesota History Center to hear stories of resilience, adaptation, and survival.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Oh. We're going to howl for your advertiser now, Dr. Stately.
Nice. I was like,
Welcome back, and it's always great to see you. And we talk seriously, but we also have a good time, and this is kind of a serious good time right now. The meaning of having the longest political prisoner in the history of the United States being released, and is a symbolic thing for us as Native people, and we really need to unite, is what I've been hearing.
Well, we have to unite. There's so many reasons why it is really critical for us to unite and to being vocal, using our voice, using our words, and and also like what Rachel was saying earlier is like, this is what resistance and endurance and resilience looks like, as we don't give up. We pray, and to remember to call on those ones who are on the other side. She mentioned it's sad that Frank is gone, Clyde's gone, there's Dennis is gone. There's all these individuals who sort of worked hard to make that happen, and advocated and marched and organized rallies and all those things that we have done over the last 20-30 years to try to get him out of prison, federal prison, and they're on that other side, and there's that's maybe where they could do their most good, right? They could use their spiritual and ancestral power to sort of sway the forces in the direction of a positive outcome. I think a lot of the times, my own life, and also, and even over the last several weeks since the beginning of this this administration, which has been challenging to say the least. I've been smudging almost every day and putting out tobacco and asking for ancestral wisdom and power, and to show up and protect and to give us strength, and also to do what they could on that side to sort of affect change, because we can't forget that our ancestors are with us all the time, whether we realize it or not. We can't see them, so we forget to know that they're there sometimes. Mm-hmm. But they're there, and we just have to, call on them and ask them to come help. And it is challenging, very difficult times right now. Last night, as I was making dinner, I was cooking dinner for my kids, and I listened to a podcast. I think Megan Chakravarty, I love her, on point, interviewing these folks who were talking about the vaccines, the significant dip in vaccines that we're seeing in our country and how they've gone down over the last several years. And Native people across Turtle Island have some of the lowest vaccine rates in the United States. The only thing that was different for us in our communities was when COVID-19 hit. We did a really great job of getting our communities, and then also communities around us, vaccinated and supported. So when we pull together, we can do some amazing things. But I think the thing that was disturbing about that is now we got this guy in the Robert RFK Jr. Overseeing all of health and the Health and Human Services division administration, and he's making decisions about research, cutting research funding, and they're making decisions about who gets funded to do what kinds of preventative care. They took down the CDC website for a few days. They took down the Indian Health Service website for a few days. They tried to lay off 1,000 IHS employees a couple weeks ago, and I think one of the things that was thankfully reversed. It has never been that this is one of those fights that's equally important. There's we just went through a flu situation here. I think everybody in my clinic got sick. My whole family got sick. I was sick for 2.5 weeks. It reminded me of when I was sick with COVID. It was almost as bad. And I think one of the things I would tell people is we have to pay attention to these things. We have to try to remember to that our health and our well-being is foundational to our ability to be strong. We don't have strong sovereign nations if we don't have health. It's a really important principle that we just have to recognize. And so doing those things that we can do, taking care of one another, keeping each other safe, encouraging people to get vaccinations for things that can actually make you very ill and cause you, for people who are specifically vulnerable, older people, our elders, people who have immunocompromised disorders and those kinds of things, and young children, they have substantively more to lose when they're exposed to something that there's a preventative solution to. So I was listening to that that podcast, and I was like, oh man, this is he has with the stroke of his pen, Robert Kennedy Jr. could just decide to make vaccines practically impossible to get for people who rely on Medicaid or rely on the federal government. If you have private insurance, you might be able to be more successful to get it, but people who are poor, people who don't have a lot of resources, on tribal communities and reservations, and people who the people I serve in my community here in South Minneapolis, don't have access to those things, and those things will become less and less available if he has his way. So we should be speaking up and using our voices and advocating and pushing back and calling this what it is, which is the political coup, and then also calling what is happening, which is illegal, and it borders on a form of genocide that is it's just not okay.
Well, and that's why it's important to have you on the show and all our people that kind of come on here, because we've gone through a lot with the way the election went and the disappointment, and then the first few weeks, and it's just draining. But that's their goal, is us to be worn down and not keep on.
Yeah. I've talked to a few people, and they're like, I just stopped listening to the news, and so you can't not the time to stop listening to the news, not the time to stop paying attention, not the time to not speak up, not the time to not be contacting your if you live in red states, if you live in red states and you have a Republican representative or senator, contact them and say, you represent me as well. You don't just represent the people that voted for you. You represent all of the state. Or my district. I'm concerned. I want you to address these things. I want you to stand up to tyranny. I want you to stand up to these things.
AOC is saying that that's working. So keep it up. Keep
Yeah, no, absolutely, right. And I think we just have to remember, like, Creator gave us a voice for a reason, right? Gave us a reason, and that voice needs to be loud, strong, and clarity, right? And speak the truth. And when you see something that isn't correct, speak up and say something about it, because real lives are at stake here. Real lives are at stake.
Big Peeny Gigi, Dr. Stately, thank you for stopping in and on this great day, and also reminding our relatives what the task is ahead for us to resist. So, Big Peeny Gigi, thanks for coming on. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
And Leonard Peltier is home.
Signing up for